Up Charlotte starts with breaking news.
And that breaking news in the last hour, Hurricane Idalia now a Category 4 storm. Take a look at the radar as the hurricane barrels towards the Florida's west coast. We are now expecting landfall in the next hour or two.
Our team is in place getting ready for the storm ahead and making sure you stay weather aware. In a moment, Larry Sprinkle will join us with a look at when this system could make landfall and the impacts we could feel here in the Carolinas.
But let's begin with Wake Up Charlotte's Jay Gray. He joins us now live from Gainesville, Florida, one of the areas expecting strong winds and significant rainfall. Jay, set the scene for us.
Yeah, Ben, Sarah, we're getting, and I just looked at the radar, we're getting another outer band of this storm that's starting to move through here. So we're seeing the rain pick up again as it has throughout the late night and into the now early morning. The wind is growing, though we know it's going to be much more significant, much more intense as this storm gets closer to landfall. You're right, this is a monster, a huge storm, still gathering strength as it heads towards the coastline here. And we're on the east side of the storm, the dirty side, so we'll see some of the most severe effects of this storm as it pushes inland and moves through. This is a storm that's expected to cause catastrophic problems. Let's start on the coast and landfall. Forecasters saying we could see a storm surge, a wall of water 12 to 16 feet. That's more than a story high, pushing in, and that the initial strike zone could, in the words of the National Hurricane Center, look more like a tornado than a hurricane. So we're talking about areas that could be leveled by the force of this major hurricane. Pushing inland in here in the area where we are, we're still going to see hurricane force winds. We're still going to see that driving rain in Gainesville. And this, of course, is home to the University of Florida. So you've got 50,000 students, a large faculty, and there's concern on the campus there. It's obviously locked down. We know that the National Guard has been deployed, 5,500 soldiers at this point, and they're in areas where they can respond quickly to some of the harder hit and low lying spots across the state and help out when that becomes safe. And you've got the power crews that are staged outside of the strike zone, hundreds, and they're ready to move in. A lot of trees in this part of Florida, so we do expect those to be pulled down in many areas, power to be lost, the power lines are ripped down as well. And we know that this is going to continue for several hours until this storm clears and starts to move up the eastern seaboard. And guys, as you're talking about and will continue to, you're going to see some of the effects of this as well.
All right, Jay Gray live for us. Jay, stay safe out there. We'll continue to check on you throughout the day and week.
Thank you.
But they're just getting ready for a catastrophic Category 4 hurricane.
Indescribable what's going to happen right there.
You're looking live right now at Charlotte Douglas after several canceled flights in Florida. Live pictures from the main terminal there. At this hour, several dozen flights heading to Florida canceled, several more delayed. We are at the airport monitoring any issues that may come up as the storm heads to the Carolinas. And Larry, you were saying this is expected to make landfall the next hour or so.
It could sometime between now and maybe 8, 9 o'clock as a Category 4 hurricane and doing devastating damage. We heard the reports there from Jay Gray, who's covered probably more hurricanes than just about anybody in the history of television coverage. Take a look at the radar picture. Once again, covers a tremendous amount of area. They're getting some big storms over there, just north of Tampa, over towards Gainesville there in Florida, Jacksonville, all the way to Tallahassee and Valdosta. That's in Georgia. Heavy rain up there. Center of circulation right in here. So if you could take that, just following that path right there, there's a little town called Perry, Florida, that may make landfall there sometime between now and maybe about 8:30 this morning. Let me step out and show you our part of the world. What a great view from over in Anson County at Lylesville, looking out to the eastern skies, looking out towards the Atlantic Ocean right there in advance of that monster storm system headed our way over the next several hours. This is the 6 a.m. advisory. Winds 130 miles per hour, about 55 miles west-northwest of Cedar Key, Florida, or about 90 miles to the south of Tallahassee, moving north-northeast at 17 miles per hour. Has made that turn, moving off to the northeast. We'll track across northern Florida. For us locally, we're going to be in the upper 70s to near 85 temperatures. I think our better chance of some heavy rain would come anytime between about 6 and 10 this evening. Pockets of heavy rain. We could see some flash flooding right here in our area.